according to the app, which is always about 5 degrees off, it was 45 degrees this morning. It was probably in the low 50s, but still. The only problem is it could be 86 by Friday. So here we are. Okay, we are doing this thing called, no. We are doing your spiritual power. Let's do the housekeeping first while I figure out what I'm actually doing. I've started to say this thing called you. Well, I've already done this thing called you. It is both on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel and on the Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube. You can just go in there, look for the playlists, and look for this thing called you. It is a fantastic book. When I found out there wasn't an audio version, I was like, well, I'm going to fix that. So I read you a chapter at a time per episode, so you can work your way through it that way. Because it is such a good book. It's such a good book. And then there's this one book where you can hear my cats. I think it's in chapter 14. You can hear my cats fighting in the background. And so I stop and I smack my book at him and then go back to reading. So, yeah, that's always fun. Other than that, mostly it was pretty uneventful. The cooler weather has got Dante extra cuddly. I think that's why why he's been making meows lately. So I don't know. Okay. Now back to the housekeeping, which the housekeeping is that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email info@creativelife.org. If you sign up for the email, you get 1 email a week, unless something unusual happens, because, we do live in hurricane country. And the hot links in the email are hot. And it just, I think I said it tells you what's going on for the week of the month, but, maybe not. And then it's a blind CC. Nobody's going to see your email. So you won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. And then I've already mentioned the social media, but we don't monetize the social media. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to engage with the pages. So like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you're on, the actual pages, and then engage with the individual post by reacting to the post, commenting on the post, sharing the post. That will help us out. And all it costs you is a click. It bumps us in the algorithms, and then more people see our stuff, which is the goal in the whole, that. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. And then, I'm the Running Rev Ryan on all of the platforms that I am on. So what? You probably cannot hear his commentary. I don't know what he's looking at. He's looking at a blank wall. So welcome to cats. All right, I'm going to read now. Do you care? Do you care? You could sit down. That would be nice. Okay, so we are in Your Spiritual Power, which is a collection of some of Ernest's more rare work, stuff that may not be published anywhere else. We happen to be doing Discover a Richer Life, which I found out, according to the intro, is a collection of articles that he wrote for the Science of Mind magazine, which I think is really cool. So we happen to be in part 3 of Discover a Richer Life, which is Discover a Place in Your Life. So we are going to do The Universe is for You. Okay. And I guess I might need to put the sunglasses on. He's over here staring out the window. Or now. Yeah. He's about 10 months old. 10 months old. And you haven't seen his feet. So he looks like a Siamese, but he's technically a snowshoe because he has white feet. But he was also a rescue, so we don't know what mommy and daddy look like. But we do know that all of the siblings had the white feet, and his brother has a white face with the heavy eye makeup, whereas Dante did not get the white face. But his white feet are stronger than Giovanni's. So, cats, genetics, yay. Okay, The Universe is for You. Start to use it. There is an old Chinese proverb that says, tomorrow's plants are in today's seeds. And our Bible speaks of a time when the plant was in the seed before the seed was in the ground. In other words, they are both saying that everything we see comes from the invisible through some silent process of nature that we know nothing about. Okay? And Jesse's a big fan of that, talking about everything coming from the invisible. Because we get weirded out by the invisible, we're afraid of the invisible, and yet everything that we love and want and care for came from the invisible. And goes back to the invisible. So, think of the process of the building of the human body through foods and liquids, and by some inner chemistry, which is beyond the ingenuity of humanity. Our hair, our feet, our fingers, our internal organs, the blood and the bones and tissues are created from some design and by some pattern which no person has ever seen. Like, we've seen DNA, but even there, we still don't understand it. No artist ever sees beauty. They feel it. It is an invisible thing. No psychologist has ever seen the mind. All the biologists in the world have no more idea how we can live than a child has. And that's interesting because we've had that conversation in Philosophy Friday. If you don't know what Philosophy Friday is, you definitely do, because it's really interesting. Because I'm going to say the master behind Philosophy Friday, which is a play on his last name because his name is David LeMaster. So he's a biologist by training. That was what at least his undergraduate, I think, was, because he was interested in life. And so he did the biology work and then realized that they still couldn't tell him what life was. So, they watch the process, they see the performance, they know what happens, but that invisible thing, the unknown guest, they know nothing about. We know very well that within us, some invisible presence, some unknown guest, animates and sustains. And the moment it severs itself from the body begins to disintegrate. It is certain that the integrating factor has left. Someone said, Lord, for tomorrow and its needs, I do not pray, but make me to do thy will, dear Lord, just for today. Okay, let's couple that with the idea of the Chinese proverb that tomorrow's plants are in the seeds of today. And let's couple that with the understanding. Let's couple it with something that Jesus said, because he was the wisest of the wise. What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Then he said something else equally as interesting. Judge not according to the appearances, but judge righteous judgment. For instance, if we were planting an acorn, we would not judge according to appearance. We would merely make a little hole in the soil and put in it a small seed no larger than a marble. We would not see an oak tree, but it is there in the acorn, in the action of the law that is going to produce it. Let's see. And even if there never had been an oak tree before, it would still grow. It is the same with everything in life. All of its vital processes are invisible. Okay, wait. Okay. It is the same with everything in life. All of its vital processes are invisible. You are not helping. You are not helping. No, you are not helping. We do not see them. We do not hear them in only a very indefinite sense do we really feel them, but we do see evidence of them everywhere about us. In the springtime, we see the seed is bursting forth to produce a plant, and the plant produces a blossom, and the blossom another seed. And so we find that all of these silent creative processes are going on. That which is created, the universe is creating us now. And when Jesus said, when you pray, believe that you have, he was announcing the law of cause and effect. He was announcing the law of cause and effect that is valid in the world of mind and spirit. For the universe is one system containing one body of law, which may be interpreted in terms of what is called spiritual law, mental law, or physical law. Okay, yeah. That is the whole, that's, for science of mind, that's it. For the universe is one system using one body of law. You know, there's not a bunch of little laws and bunch of little systems. It's one united whole. We can choose to plant a seed in the ground, and some natural process will operate upon it to produce a plant that is like the pattern in the seed, independently of us. Does this not really explain it? Does this not really explain how it is that faith operates? Everybody is familiar with the idea that faith can produce a result, but how few people ever stop to analyze why or how or just what is faith. It is true that faith is an attitude we have towards this power greater than we are, but it is also a mental attitude that we sustain in our own mind about the operation, action, or reaction of that power towards us. Okay. Let's see. But it is also a mental attitude. You are not helping, and you are drooling on my book. In other words, faith, if we will strip it of all things but what it really is and view it with complete objectivity and reality, is a way of thinking or believing which admits no doubt, which accepts a proposition, whether not seen or not, judges not according to appearances, believes that the future flows out of the present, believes that the future is changed when the present is changed, that the seeds of today produce the plants of tomorrow, and that the thoughts of today produce the events of the future. Okay. I think we should come to believe that the universe is good. No matter what happens, disregarding everything we see, the universe itself has to be good, or you and I wouldn't be here. I mean, that's quite a statement, right? Whew. It has to be constructive or it would destroy itself. We may be certain that whoever complies with the laws of nature will find the laws of nature complying with them. But somehow or other, we haven't quite thought that spiritual and mental laws are just as real as physical ones. And yet today, in psychosomatic medicine, in psychiatry and psychology and allied branches of the science of mind, we are definitely discovering how the silent processes of our own emotional reactions and our patterns of thinking are the seeds of what tomorrow will bring. The fruitage, I did not know that was a word, will be in our physical bodies, in our relationships, and in our environment. We must know that the universe is for us, not against us. Therefore, it seems to me that we should have a quiet sense of childlike trust and faith. Too many people are so afraid of God and the future and have become so wrapped up with some dismal philosophy that they feel something bad is going to happen to them. It doesn't need to. You and I do not have to assume the burdens and obligations and responsibilities of the universe. Oh, we do not have to assume the burdens, responsibilities of the universe. Okay. It carries us. We do not carry it. But we but we certainly have to comply with its laws. They are creative. They are good. This is why Jesus said that if you want to be forgiven, you have to forgive. And this is the only natural law of cause and effect. If we this is only the natural law of cause and effect. If we constructively use it, then we have a good reason to expect that something good will happen. If we wish to change our thinking, we can change our lives. If our experiences are the result of our thoughts, then the future, if it is going to be given birth to in the present, will be largely the lengthened shadow of the content of our minds, of our feelings of faith or fear. Okay, the lengthened shadow. That is an excellent. You are not helping. You are not helping. The lengthened shadow of our minds, our feelings, our faith, or our fear. So I guess that's why we talk about the trend of your thoughts. Each individual thought is not the problem. It is the trend of your thought. So if the trend of your thought is faith, then good things are going to happen. If the trend of your thought is fear, when you don't you see where I'm going? Okay. It is no wonder that the future so seldom becomes better than the past, and often worse as pessimism takes the place of optimism. We have to learn to speak an affirmative language. We have to learn to speak an affirmative language. An affirmative language is creative of good. We must learn to say, tomorrow is going to be a good day. Someone may laugh and say, but look at what is happening. Look what happened yesterday. But did you know that the first boat which crossed the Atlantic, driven by steam, carried in her cabin a scientific treatise of that day explaining exactly why it was that no boat could be propelled by steam? Well, that's interesting. It is very characteristic of the human mind to consider that everything that is good, everything that is optimistic, either belongs to some future state, or that it is withheld from us, or that we are not good enough to receive it. Now that right there, that is a very human problem. Or that there is some reason why it should not come into our experience. And yet, those whose faith is based on the thought and the philosophy and the experience of one whom we consider to have been the greatest spiritual genius who ever lived, are not reading his words very carefully, for he said, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. I suggest that we forget all the past and not wonder too much if faith works, but accept that we start to remake and remodel our own thinking. Mm-hmm. Here is an interesting thing that happens when we do this. Out of the past comes a sort of repetition, like a monotonous song being sung. It can't be this way. It's too good to be true. I don't know how to do it. I'm not good enough to do it. Who said it's true? You know all the arguments. Where do they come from? It is a well-recognized fact in psychology and psychiatry today that all the morbid and unhappy thought patterns which we have ever had repeat themselves, as they say, with monotonous regularity, and that they actually resist any change of thought. Well, let's recognize this as a law of our psychological nature and not be disturbed by it. But by recognizing it, we then know that what we are dealing with. And knowing what we are dealing with, we shall know how to deal with it. By recognizing. That's one of the reasons why I appreciated Gene Roddenberry so much, is because he pictured a future that was different. It wasn't always easy. hang on. It isn't always easy, but we can determine to do it. And I think there is one first step we need to take, and that is to resolve to make our emotions and our thoughts a little more optimistic, a little more affirmative, a little more enjoyable. What difference does it make if somebody thinks, well, it's an illusion? It's Pollyanna-ish. Pollyanna-ish. Yeah. Did you ever stop to think that no one is ever going to live for you but yourself? No one can be unhappy for you but yourself. No one can be happy for you but yourself. And it doesn't make a particle of difference what all the world thinks if you and I know something constructive about ourselves. It doesn't make a particle of difference. Oh, I love that phrase. We need not fall into the error of believing that what everybody around us believes, or in what the world has always experienced. As we press forward into the future, certainly we shall carry with us everything out of the experience of the past, which was the nature of love, truth, beauty, faith, reason, and goodness, and everything that has optimism, and certainly we shall tend to discard everything that is discouraging. We shall create a greater sense of flexibility, of love, a greater sense of tolerance, a deeper feeling for others, for the universe. Every psychologist tells us that there are 4 adjustments with the self. Okay, 4 adjustments with the self. With the family and with society, then with the universe. How right they are when they say that first I must change my own thinking. Then I must make an adjustment to those immediately around me, because they are the ones with whom I am most intimately associated. Next, it must be with society itself. And last of all, with the universe in which I live. But the interesting thing is, the first adjustment is with the self. Like, we can't change the universe until we change ourselves first. It is the only real adjustment we ever have to make, for when this is properly done, we are automatically adjusted to all other things. The seeds of today are the fruits of tomorrow, and we shall be happy indeed on the morrow if the seeds we plant today are the seeds of love and faith and goodwill. For there is no unbelief. Whoever plants a seed beneath the sod and waits to see it push away the clod, they trust in God. And that's a quote. Do not have any idea where it's from, but it is a quote. It starts with there is no unbelief. Ernest doesn't cite his sources very well, but if the seeds we plant today are seeds of love. Yep. There we go. All right. Tomorrow we will pick up with stars, Adam, and people. But today I need to wrap up. I need to wrap up and go. And Dante was no help at all today. He was very distracting. All right. So I'm just going to wrap up here. I encourage you to have a great day, wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. Well, let's get this week started off right day. You got this day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a maybe wear a jacket day, drink plenty of water day, enjoy the sunshine day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, I mean, it is Monday. I like Mondays, but simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, divine spark, spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call it, you are a godling. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be. Because the divine knows you to be good. From there, anything is possible. Anything at all. All right. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.